A new line is being drawn on the map of the world, not a border, but a waterway that could reshape global commerce. For over a century, the Panama Canal has been the king of maritime shortcuts, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific. Now China is backing a $50 billion project to build a new canal through Nicaragua, a bold move with global implications. This canal promises to handle the world's largest ships, challenging the old order and shifting the balance of power. The movement of goods is the lifeblood of our economy. A new canal could lower costs, create opportunities, and shift alliances. It's more than construction. It's a move in a global chess game with trillions at stake. Imagine supertankers sailing directly from Asia to the US East Coast. This is the future Nicaragua envisions. China's involvement signals its ambition to shape, not just join, the global order. For businesses, governments, and the people of Nicaragua, the stakes are enormous. Economic transformation, but also risk. As construction begins, the world must ask, are we ready for the new era this canal will create? To grasp the new canal's significance, we must first look at the giant it challenges, the Panama Canal. Opened in 1914, it cut shipping times dramatically and became a symbol of American power. For over a century, it's been a critical choke point, handling 3.5% of global maritime trade. Even after a $5.25 billion expansion in 2016, the Panama Canal can't handle the world's largest ships. China's interest in a rival canal is about scale, efficiency, and reducing strategic vulnerability. The US still influences the Panama Canal, making it a potential choke point in any conflict. By building a new route through friendly Nicaragua, China secures its supply chains and asserts independence. This is about more than shipping. It's about who controls the arteries of global trade. The stage is set for a new era of competition and influence. The idea of a Nicaraguan canal predates Panama's, but now it's being revived with unprecedented Chinese backing. The HKND Group, led by Wang Jing, is driving the $50 billion project, with Beijing's implicit support. The Grand Interoceanic Canal would stretch 173 miles, 3 times longer than Panama's, and handle the world's largest ships. It's more than a canal. 2 deep-water ports, a free trade zone, an airport, and tourism complexes are planned. For Nicaragua, this promises economic rebirth. For China, a strategic foothold in Central America. President Ortega has championed the project as a path to prosperity and sovereignty, granting HKND a sweeping 50-year concession. But the project faces immense engineering, financial, and political challenges. Dredging through Lake Nicaragua raises environmental alarms, and the concession has sparked sovereignty concerns. The canal is a high-stakes gamble, potentially transformative, or a cautionary tale of overreach. The world is watching to see if this old dream can become a modern reality. As of October 2025, the Nicaraguan Canal is slowly moving from dream to reality. Preliminary work is underway, roads cut through jungle, construction camps built, and port upgrades begun. Environmental assessments have been completed, but transparency is lacking. The original 5-year timeline has slipped. Completion is now projected for 2035 or later. Funding remains uncertain, with Chinese state banks likely to step in. Land expropriation has begun, sparking protests and legal challenges from affected communities. Designs for massive locks are finalized, and dredging at Brito Port has started. Progress is real but slow, reflecting the project's immense complexity and controversy. The Nicaraguan Canal is more than infrastructure. It's a geopolitical earthquake. For the US, a Chinese-backed canal in its backyard challenges a century of dominance. Latin American nations now balance old ties to Washington with new opportunities from Beijing. The canal incentivizes deeper regional ties with China, especially for resource exporters like Brazil and Venezuela. Strategically, a second canal reduces reliance on Panama and complicates US military planning. For China, it's a potential naval asset, expanding its global reach. Nicaragua's alignment with China has isolated it from some neighbors, while the US strengthens ties with Panama and Colombia. The project is forcing countries to choose sides, redrawing alliances across the region. The result, a more complex, volatile landscape, with the US and China as rival poles. The canal is not just a waterway, it's a symbol of shifting global power. The world is watching as the chessboard is rearranged. A second Central American canal will create new winners and losers worldwide. Nicaragua stands to gain most. Tens of thousands of jobs, new infrastructure, and a potential leap out of poverty. The government hopes transit fees will fund social programs and transform the nation. But Panama could lose traffic and revenue, especially from the largest ships. U.S. West Coast ports may see less Asian cargo, as ships bypass them for Gulf and East Coast destinations. For global manufacturers and retailers, more options and lower costs could reshape supply chains. Competition may drive down shipping prices, benefiting consumers. But the risks are huge. If traffic projections fall short, the canal could become a costly white elephant. The influx of foreign capital could spark inflation and social tension, while displacement and environmental damage threaten traditional livelihoods. The economic shockwave will be both creative and destructive. The world must weigh the promise of prosperity against the risks of upheaval. To understand the canal's complexity, we must hear from those closest to it. President Ortega calls it a path to prosperity and national dignity, a chance to control Nicaragua's destiny. Environmentalists like Dr. Jorge Huete Perez warn that dredging Lake Nicaragua could be an ecological disaster, threatening water supplies and biodiversity. Economic analysts, such as Margaret Myers, question the project's financial logic and long-term demand. Panama's reliability and efficiency are proven. Shippers may hesitate to switch to an untested route. The debt burden and operational costs could be staggering. Local voices, like farmer Francisca Ramirez, fear land loss and broken promises. They call this progress, but for us, it's destruction, she says, echoing widespread concerns. The canal is dividing Nicaraguan society, hope for some, fear for others. The project's fate will be shaped by these competing visions and voices. The world must listen to both the promise and the warning. The stakes are as personal as they are global. The Nicaraguan canal's environmental and social costs are profound. The route cuts through Lake Nicaragua, a vital freshwater source, threatening water quality and fish stocks. Dredging could release toxins and devastate the ecosystem. The canal also slices through rainforests and reserves, endangering species and destroying habitats. At least 30,000 people, possibly over 100,000, face displacement, many from indigenous and farming communities. The law gives HKND sweeping powers to expropriate land, fueling protests and deepening social rifts. Supporters see sacrifice for national progress. Opponents see a massive land grab. The project is reshaping Nicaragua's landscape and society, raising urgent questions about rights and sustainability. The true cost of progress may be measured in lost homes, forests, and ways of life. The Nicaraguan Canal is a catalyst for a new global era. It's the boldest sign yet of China's ambition to set the terms for global infrastructure. Whether it thrives or fails, its impact is already shifting alliances and sparking debate. If completed, it could drive down shipping costs, reshape supply chains, and alter U.S. trade patterns. But this new order comes with environmental risk and social upheaval. The world must stay informed and engaged as decisions in Managua, Beijing, and Washington shape our future. We must ask, is the economic promise worth the environmental gamble? Are local rights protected? What does Chinese influence mean for democracy and stability? Support independent reporting and advocacy to monitor the project's impact. The line across Nicaragua is redrawing the world map. Our collective responsibility is to ensure this new chapter is guided by sustainability, human rights, and a shared future.